Hello friends, so I apologize I'm not at school to explain this, but you probably have done another activity with the sub, and now I'm going to explain your project for the end of this unit. So this project will actually commence, it's on your unit sheet on your calendar, probably I think like November 9th or something like that. Go check your pink unit sheet and it will tell you. But basically I'm going to go ahead and assign it to you now, and any spare time you have, any night you don't have homework or over fall break, if you want to get a jump ahead on this, you can work on this project. We'll have also tomorrow, your assignment is to work on this project all class quietly while the sub is here for you. So what is this project? This project is a speed date of you as a historical figure from the time period, speed dating other reformers of the time period and trying to find friends amongst the crowd. So each of you is going to be assigned to a different antebellum reformer. There's a time period in U.S. history, we're going to get into it, where people were really into perfecting society and making society better. And these lists of people, William Lloyd Garrison, Frederick Douglass, all those people are major players in that perfection of society or attempted perfection of society. And so we're going to pretend to be those people and then get to know all the other ones. So you're going to be given a reformer from the early 1800s. Here is the list. I've also posted this on Google Classroom. So my green is my second period people and my blue is my fourth period people. So go on Google Classroom, check. I don't think this has changed at all. I apologize if I misspelled your name. I was going off my memory. And so you are going to be this person, and I apologize if that person is not your gender. There were a lot more boys than there were girls in the reforming era back then. I also apologize if this person is not your race as well. We're going to be sensitive. We're not going to make jokes about race or anything like that. It's just because the people back then, most of them were white male reformers. Some were female. Some, especially the ones in the abolitionist area, are African Americans. And so just kind of ignore gender, just kind of ignore race. And we're going to become these people and speed date others. So your job is going to be to research your reformer, answer all the questions in a biography sheet, which I'm going to show you, include a picture or pictures of your reformer that you can find online, their dates of life, information, everything that answers the questions provided. The profile activity is the research part. It comes before the actual date where you come in and speed date, and it's not a I'll do it the night before situation. It's going to take you time. It is as if you're writing a research paper, and it's going to need to look like that. In addition to that biography sheet that's kind of due before you come to class, you're going to have 2 items with you, at least 2 items with you. A nameplate that identifies you and any information you want to share, and I'm going to link a video of me after this little talk showing you some examples of nameplates that kids have done in the past. And that nameplate will travel around with you. It can be tagged to you like a name tag, or it can be like a trifold piece of paper that you sit on your desk, and so people know that that is your desk and that reformer is sitting there. Okay. You also need a prop. This says you get extra credit for a prop. That's wrong. Prop is part of the assignment. You need to bring a prop that identifies your person as well. And again, it doesn't need to be anything super elaborate. It can be something you create. It can be an item maybe that you already have. You just have to zhuzh it up a little bit. I will show you examples in the video after this. And that will help your date remember who you are. Oh, that's the guy that had the book. Oh, that's the girl that had the college degree. Those sort of things. Something from your individual's past or present. I will award extra credit points for people who have increasingly creative props or who dress up as their character. Some of these characters had some interesting 1800s attire or accessories that they would have on them all the time. And so if you can research that and find that out about your person and wear that, that would be awesome. And I'd be willing to give you extra credit for going above and beyond. I love it when kids dress up. During your speed date, so you do the nameplate, you do the prop. If you're going to do a costume, you do that before. You do the biography research paper before. And then the day of, you come to the speed date. I'll have the desks arranged, and we'll do about 4-minute speed dates. You'll have 2 minutes to talk about yourself. You'll have 2 minutes to listen to the other person, and my goal is that we'll get to meet almost all the other reformers. Where are you supposed to find information for this? I want you to use your textbook, and I want you to use credible sources online to research. So look up, a lot of these people have foundations that their families or historical societies have set up in their name that has all the information about them. Some of them are a little bit less known, so you're going to be searching a little bit more, but that's perfectly fine. Use your textbook, use your notes, use credible online resources. So let's go to the assignment here. Here's just a little list. You need to create the profile form, which I'm going to show you. Find a prop and or dress like that person if you want extra credit. One prop is required. Additional props and costume get you extra credit. You need to make a place card or name tag that you wear or bring the day of. It either clips onto you or it sits on the desk in front of you. And then during the speed date, you may or may not like the people, and you're trying to find a match based on your persona. You are going to pretend you're Harriet Beecher Stowe or Sojourner Truth or William Lloyd Garrison, and you're trying to find a match or matches, people you can relate to, allies, people that are in the same reform as you or would fight for similar things, and we'll have about 2 minutes to share about yourself, 2 minutes to hear from the others. For the speed date day itself, you got to be ready and prepared. You got to know who you are. You got to be in character the whole time. Have your prop, have your nameplate, ask questions. Oh, what was it like when? Or how did you feel about that? Give answers when people ask questions and participate. The rules are you have 2 minutes to talk about yourself, and you need to be able to fill that entire 2 minutes. And if people ask you questions about your reformer, you have to be able to answer those questions. You need to know this person forwards and backwards, inside and out. Your goal during the speed date is to keep the other person talking for the full 2 minutes as well. So if they finish early before time is called, and there'll be a timer on the board, you got to keep them talking. You got to ask questions. You'll have a little note chart and information. We'll write stuff down. We're going to learn something about find reformers that our reformer would like and have lots of fun. So here is all the things that are being graded. Your biography sheet is worth the most of this whole project. 40 whole points, and I'll show you what that looks like. The formatting of it, I need it to be typed. There's a copy already made for you on Google Classroom. You just edit it. Your nameplate needs to be specific in color. You put time, effort, energy into it. Your prop also needs to have the same thing, and then I'll give you up to 15 points extra credit for any extra props or costumes that truly create the character. So here is your biography sheet that will take you some time, like more than the class period I'm giving you tomorrow while the sub is here, more than 30 minutes the night before. This is supposed to be treated like a research paper, essentially. It needs to be typed. You're going to submit it on Google Classroom. I'm setting it up so it makes a copy for you. All you have to do is type in that copy. Don't worry about this. But you are going to, this part is important, you are going to treat this sheet as if it were a research paper without the fancy and formal writing. I need thorough analysis of your 1800s reformer. So this is a research paper. You are going to know this person inside and out, but I'm not making you write a thesis, an introduction, context, but you're telling me their whole life story. You're telling me everything you can find out about them. I want fun facts. I want who was their mom and how did that impact who they were. I want how did they grow up. I want the full story of this person. Interesting things that happened to them. Be prepared to be able to tell your speed date partners interesting stories. One of these reformers had like 53 wives. One of these reformers got drugged through the streets by a donkey and survived to tell the tale. One of these reformers had debilitating tuberculosis and almost didn't write the book that he's the most famous for. And so interesting stories like that. Oh, one can't swim, and it's really interesting, like there's a big story behind it. Really interesting things about that you need to know everything about the reformer, what area in the U.S. political and social life they are involved in, but also all the other stuff about them. So, you can talk on here as if you are the reformer or as if you are you writing about the reformer. I don't care. But their name goes here. Maybe they don't ascribe to a religion. If they don't, you explain here. If they do, describe what that religion is and what they believe. What was their political, social, or economic issue? What were they trying to reform? What years were they effective? Not what years were they alive. What years were they fighting for social justice or economic justice or political reform? Right there. How they were brought up impacts who they were as an adult when they were reforming. That's super important. How do you care about your issues? Accomplishments. What effect did they have short and long term? Colleagues, friends, and why they're colleagues and friends. What obstacles and challenges did they face? That's where you're going to get a lot of interesting stories. Same for here. What do you enjoy? What can we find out personally about these people? And then include at least one picture of your reformer below. Give me multiple. The point of this is not to do the bare minimum. The point of this is so that you are super prepared for speed date day. And this is very thorough. Okay, so I'm going to cut to a video real quick of example props and example nameplates for you. But essentially, remember, this assignment is 4 parts. The 4 parts are you doing your research in advance, the biography sheet, you coming to class with a nameplate and with a prop. That's 2 and 3. And number 4, you speed dating other characters, knowing your reformer, your character inside and out, so that it's a quality experience for all. All right, guys, so here are some of the props that students have used in the past. I won't tell you what reformer they go with, but just take these as an example. A prop can be something that I keep, you turn in, or something that is yours and you need to keep it. So just think about that. So this is medication taped over an old pill bottle for one of our reformers that had a debilitating disease that impacted his reform. So that was a really good example. Some reformers were writers, and so this student wrote a scroll and actually put some of the real writing on the inside, which I really liked. I have another example of that where they couldn't find a book of this writer, so they wrote some of the primary source of what this writer actually wrote inside a little fake book. Same for here, a book that the reformer wrote, and then they wrote parts of the book. I thought that was very creative and what the reformer liked and didn't like. I love that. A scroll, a quill. Let me see what else here. A ballot box, maybe something like that. So let me show you some, a book. A fake book that they made. Let me show you some of the nameplates that some people got in the past. One reformer ends up on American money, and so their nameplate was the money that reformer ended up on. Just kind of like an old style. This one actually like sits up. Old style, kind of made it look antique. Tried to copy the signature of the reformer. I loved that. Let me see. One reformer's nameplate stood up, and it was actually a picture of something important in their life with their name down at the bottom, hand drawn. That was awesome. Something as simple as a tri-folded piece of paper. Oh, this has something else in there. Tri-folded piece of paper with the reformer's name and then some symbols, well done and colored, that kind of show what the reformer did. A little ballot with the reformer's name on it. I thought that was great. I loved this one. The kind of set up as a tri-folded piece of paper as different ideas and reform movements, what the reformer liked, what they didn't like, written on the background, and then their name on top. I thought that was very good. So that's just some ideas for props, some ideas for nameplates. It needs to be creative. I need to understand that you put thought and effort and time into it. It needs to be colorful. It needs to really represent who the reformer was.